Tonight, a ton of legal stories, and believe it or not, we're not even going to talk about the president. The case against R. Kelly, the singer, makes an emotional plea on morning TV in a clip that has gone viral tonight. He's behind bars. We will delve into the case with our legal panel. Plus, the world's most notorious drug kingpin, El Chapo, making a plea to overturn his conviction, and believe it or not, he may have a shot. His team claims the jurors broke the rules, so Chapo ought to be retried or cut loose. We're going to be speaking with Chapo's new appeals attorney in his first TV interview since joining the case. And later, he spent 25 years in prison for a murder he did not commit, a misjustice that might never have happened if prosecutors had shared critical evidence they had in their possession with his attorneys. Now, he and they trying to change laws to make sure the same thing does not happen to someone else, even you. Evening, everyone, and welcome to RFL. I'm Richard French. We're going to get to all those stories and more with our legal team in just a moment. But first here, we wanted to get some stories out of D.C. that we thought you should know about. And for the headlines, it's bringing our senior political correspondent, Andrew Whitman. Andrew?
Well, Rich, former Trump attorney Michael Cohen was back on Capitol Hill again today, giving more testimony behind closed doors. Today's headline, Cohen provided the House Intelligence Committee with documents believed to show that the Trump team had edited Cohen's previous statement that led to Cohen lying to Congress in 2017. That's the crime he will soon head to prison over. Last week, Cohen told members that Trump attorney Jay Sekulow edited those comments that Cohen then gave falsely to Congress. Sekulow, in a statement, denied that claim today. In another House committee room, Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen faced a barrage of questions about her role in implementing the Trump administration's family separation policies. Democrats on the panel grilled Nielsen, attacking her for claiming to act compassionately while separating families. Nielsen denied any knowledge of psychological damage separating the kids does to them. Nielsen saying she was only aware of the damage their journeys from Central America might cause. And then there were questions about the images like these. Separated kids being kept in cages. The committee chairman, Benny Thompson of Mississippi, asked what seemed like a straight-up question. Listen for Nielsen's response.
Just yes or no, are we still putting children in cages?
To my knowledge, CBP never purposely put a child in a cage if you mean a cage like this.
Purposely or whatever, are we putting children in cages as of today?
Children are processed at the border facility stations that you've been at. Some of the
And I've seen the cages. I just want you to admit that the cages exist.
Sir, they're not cages.
And finally, at a Senate hearing on sexual assaults in the military, a stunning declaration from Arizona Senator Republican Martha McSally, who is also America's first female fighter pilot to ever serve in combat.
Also a military sexual assault survivor. But unlike so many brave survivors, I didn't report being sexually assaulted. I blame myself. I was ashamed and confused. And I thought I was strong, but felt powerless. The perpetrators abused their position of power in profound ways. And in one case, I was preyed upon and then raped by a superior officer.
As you just heard, McSally, who spent 26 years in the Air Force before entering politics, says it was a superior officer who attacked her. McSally was appointed to fill the Senate seat of the late Senator John McCain. Rich?
Andrew, thank you very much. We're going to get into now a host of legal issues, and our team of attorneys are going to help us get to all that in a moment. But first, I want to start with the case against singer R. Kelly.
How stupid would it be for me to, with my crazy past and what I've been through, oh, right now I just think I need to be a monster and hold girls against their will, chain them up in my basement, and don't let them eat and don't let them out unless they need some shoes down the street from their uncle. Robert, stop it. Y'all quit playing. Quit playing. Robert. I didn't do this stuff. This is not me. I'm fighting for my life. Y'all killing me with this. I gave y'all 30 years of my career.
Robert.
30 years of my career. Y'all trying to kill me. You killing me, man.
That, of course, the viral clip from this morning's CBS News interview with R. Kelly and his, well, forceful denial of a slew of sex abuse and kidnapping related both charges and allegations. Now, over the years, Kelly, he's been charged with a number of crimes, but never convicted. Well, that may soon change, thanks in large part to a TV documentary. Many of you may have seen this, Surviving R. Kelly. It aired on Lifetime, and it reopened a slew of questions about his actions and the lack of prosecutions. Since this documentary aired, the Chicago DA has filed 10 new counts against him, accusing him of sexually abusing 4 women, 3 of whom were minors at the time. Now, on a semi-related note, Kelly, he had a hearing today in Chicago, that over unpaid child support. Sheriff's office that Kelly was taken into, well, they took him in immediately following the hearing. They say that Kelly will remain behind bars till he pays $161,000 that he owes in back child support. I want to bring in our legal panel right now. Jim Koussouris, criminal defense attorney in Manhattan. He sits on the board of directors on the New York City Criminal Bar Association, also frequently lecturing at New York Law School and the bar associations in Queens and New York City. Doug Von Oist, founding partner of Karsten Von Oist. He focusing on corporate misconduct, also selected by the Legal 500 as one of the most influential trial lawyers in the country. And Mayo Bartlett, an attorney at law at the offices of Mayor Bartlett PLC and a former chief of the Bias Crimes Unit at the Westchester County DA's office. All 3 of you guys have experience on both sides of this, on the defense side and on the prosecution side. But first of all, there is possible legal malpractice that you would put this lunatic in front of a camera and go completely unhinged without the attorney in the room. And there's another clip where these 2 young women who are now living in their house are screaming that their parents are lying, that basically Kelly bought them to keep them in his home. I mean, this is not, I don't think it's fair to call things train wreck TV to compare it to what I saw today. My God, the idiocy to do that. There's more serious questions to get into, but how possibly did they think that would help their client?
Well, I don't know that the attorney told him to do that or whether he did it against the attorney's advice. If I was a betting man, I'd tell you that the attorney told him, stay away from the camera. You're not going to exonerate yourself in front of the camera, especially when he's by himself and he decides to, you know, give his
Well, far be it from me to disparage legal counsel, but I will also say at the earlier hearing, or the hearing that he had post the interview that aired today, he went before the court here on the back child support payments. And he said, I've got 50 or 60 grand that I can give you. They said, you owe us 161 grand. This isn't let's make a deal. And he said, yeah, I'm kind of short on money. His attorney said he hasn't been working in a while. When asked why he's living at the Trump Tower in Chicago, he said, well, he has some money. That wasn't a good enough answer, apparently, and now that he's in custody. So I'm just saying, this was not legal wizardry today. But Doug, you know, there's a question that I think is a fair one that has been asked. And I saw part of the Lifetime documentary. And the volume of people, not just ranging from young women who were in his orbit, but from his ex-wife, from his security detail, from people those close to him, where it wasn't purely just allegations, there was the existence of videotapes, etc. The question I get that I don't have a practical answer for is, why would it take a Lifetime documentary series to finally get the wheels of justice to turn when this was a predatory behavior that went on for so long, and there hasn't even been blanket denials? When he even asked in this interview about, well, how do you know about women? He goes, and what's in suitable age for you? He goes, legal. I mean, this guy, forget that he didn't acquit himself well. You can see what was going on and what was, if not aided, what was abetted, that this was allowed to continue this long.
I don't think you're ever going to get a good answer to that. I mean, it seems to me that it's pretty obvious what was going on. But, you know, the man deserves his day in court and everything, but it seems like anybody that looked here could find multiple crimes anywhere they looked.
And there was, as I said, 2 common elements here. He preyed on young girls. When I say young, I'm saying well under 18. And there was videotapes that were involved that people widely knew about the existence of. I mean, what gives here? I know this is Cook County. This isn't, I'm not going to your old stomping grounds, but my point is, come on, right?
Well, a lot of times it's power. So you have power, celebrity, and, you know, you see the same thing in New York when you start to look at why certain investigations against Harvey Weinstein aren't pursued. Unfortunately, the recent documentary put a lot of pressure on the authorities to move forward. The big issue I always have with this is how many other cases are out there like that where there is nobody that's your champion. There is no one who says, hey, you know, let's look into this, let's give you your day in court.
Now, you heard the screams. I want to also play a clip here. This is an additional one. This is R. Kelly and also Joycelyn Savage. She's one of the young women. This is her mother. Again, this from CBS this morning.
I didn't go looking for a Joycelyn Savage. I was doing my show. He brought her and asked a friend of mine to put her on the stage with R. Kelly. Make sure she's on the stage.
It hurts me so much to hear that being said. And it's just speechless to hear that saying that we would sell our kids. That's unheard of.
We went from seeing you or talking to you daily or weekly to not seeing you in 2 years. So that is a clear indication to us and as a mother that something's definitely wrong.
Now, she and another girl that are still living with Mr. Kelly claim they're doing so voluntarily, but the pattern of parents that have said, you know, he seems to groom the kids, they keep them there, obviously allegations that he imprisoned them, but you would think there's enough to go on here that it wouldn't have taken all the things we've talked about, Jimmy, to finally get the wheels of justice turning.
Well, look, that's true. But you know something? You have all of these complainants, and they have to come forward. They have to come forward and make their complaints and present their evidence in order for a district attorney's office to pursue it. Like, as Mayor
There also has
said,
to be an eagerness to get your hands on some physical evidence like videotapes, et cetera, that apparently were very widely known. And in certain communities, they went out of their way to defend R. Kelly. I understand that, but that shouldn't be a predominating factor here for law enforcement.
No, it shouldn't be. But again, you do need cooperating witnesses in order to prosecute a case. And so just taking on an investigation on your own because you hear that certain evidence may be out there, you know, that's tough. You need the witnesses to come in and you need them to cooperate with you.
Although with an R. Kelly, you can do a sting with somebody like that also. I mean, I don't think it would be prohibitive to be able to put somebody in a place where, you know, R. Kelly might try to duplicate
He
the
didn't
alleged
seem
conduct.
to be concerned about discretion throughout this whole thing,
not
that's
at
for
all.
sure. All right.
And you find that often with public figures like that.
Guys, we're going to hear from an old friend in a minute. When we come back, could the world's best known and most feared drug kingpin go free because the jury was checking social media? It is not a reach here. That is the strategy that El Chapo's legal team now relying on. And tonight we're going to speak with the attorney who has been brought on to make such an appeal, old friend of the program, Mark Furnish, his first TV interview on the case. That's straight ahead.